ladies and gentlemen, to Fan Appreciation Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at well, this actually is a first. This film is from Taiwan. I don't think I've covered anything else which is from this country yet, so for the first time in a long time, I can say I'm covering a movie from a country I haven't covered yet. So hey, that is at least a positive. The movie is, according to what I've been told by many people, a rather piss-poor adaptation of quite possibly one of the most popular and famous anime or manga series ever. The movie in question, and I am going to use its title when it first came out in the US, was Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins. The new DVDs are called Dragon Ball Ultimate Edition because they claim to have all new special effects. Yeah, apparently somebody thought it'd be a good idea to be just like George fucking Lucas and just take an old film and smear tons of new goddamn effects on it. I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not. I don't even know if the movie is any good, but I haven't heard a single positive thing about Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins. However, I did find a little bit of joy out of watching Dragon Ball Evolution, and so who knows? I actually might happen to find something good here. I kind of doubt it, but hey, who knows? I will not know until I sit down and I watch this, and what the hell? The film only has a runtime of 100 minutes, so I'm really not losing a whole lot of time here. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins. Okay. The film has just started and we're seeing a CG dragon. I have a question. Why the hell are its eyes almost popping out of its fucking head? I'm telling you guys, that is like really fucking creepy, and I really thought it was just like a friggin' like error on the DVD cover. But no. This frickin' dragon's eyes are literally almost popping out of its skull. It looks really fucking creepy, man. Dragon Pearl. You know, the movie's called Dragon Ball for a fucking reason, right? You don't call it a Dragon Pearl when your fucking title is Dragon Ball. That makes zero sense. You know, guys, I honestly am not going to claim to be a Dragon Ball expert or anything, but I don't remember Goku ever being bulletproof in any other iteration of Dragon Ball. So if anyone could actually tell me if at any time in the show he actually was like bulletproof, please tell me. Otherwise, that's a huge inaccuracy. So I just saw a guy in blackface with a pig nose. I can only assume that this creature is this movie's version of Oolong, but just, that looks absolutely hideous. Seriously, this is probably one of the ugliest characters I've ever seen in any live-action movie. That is saying a lot, guys. I'd like to take a moment, guys, to just ask a question. Because there has to be someone out there who's watched a lot of films which are from Taiwan. I want to know, are all of them this stupid? Because, guys, I am less than halfway through this, and it's beginning to hurt. I'm beginning to feel physical pains, the likes of which I've never felt before watching a goddamn movie. The writing is so nonsensical that I'm beginning to get a splitting headache. But I'm going to gripe about that when I'm done watching this fucking thing, so I just have to hope and pray that it's over soon. So, wait a moment here. So, Master Roshi, my bad, Turtle Man, has to call on the magic cloud by doing this really idiotic and retarded-looking dance? Words do not even begin to describe how stupid that was. Alright, well, you know what, no, this actually is as good a time as fucking any to mention this. This Ultimate Edition's CG really fucking sucks. I'm telling you guys, this really is some of the worst I have ever seen, and that's saying a lot when you think about some of the shit I've watched in this series. let me see if I understand this. Westwood is horribly afraid of women if they come near him, unless he's trying to kill them. Sure. I'm going to pretend that makes just some modicum of sense, just because maybe it'll make me feel a little bit better if I can actually think something in this fucking movie makes some semblance of sense. Okay, so that was Dragon Ball The Magic Begins. And we get this ending with CG that, oh my god, this is some of the worst CG I've ever seen. I'm gonna shut that up. Guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, to say that, oh my god. Let's start with the CG since I just have the movie paused in this CG Monkey Boy. By the way, yeah, his name is not Goku, it's Monkey Boy. This CG Monkey Boy here is kind of reminding me. This is the Ultimate Edition of The Magic Begins, where they added a ton of new special effects and CG and everything else. Now, the Ultimate Edition was released in 2007. The CG here would make the stuff seen in games such as the original Virtua Fighter look like something off the 360. Just think about that for just a minute. This thing has CG that's that bad, but it's from 2007. At least all these new effects, all this new like CG like bullshit was. That's just the least of this thing's worries. Now, I have covered enough films that were adaptations of comic books and other shit to know that you don't spend a lot of time harping about how loyal it is to the source, because really that means absolutely fucking nothing. The object is actually whether or not the damn thing is entertaining. But since I know a lot of people are going to ask, how loyal is it to Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball Evolution was a hell of a lot closer to being loyal, and I know how many people like to bitch about how far off from the fucking source that thing is. This is worse. This is far, far worse. So, let's start with the writing. Since I watched the English dub, I really can only talk about, the writing in the English dub. The writing was awful. Now, again, this version was redone with brand new special effects and all this other stupid shit in 2007. You would have thought that they would have gotten, a new script done, perhaps maybe a brand new dub, so that way the characters who are supposed to be Goku, Bulma, Roshi, and so forth were actually called those instead of Monkey Boy, Sito, and Turtle Man. Again, though, that actually is harping about how disloyal it was to, Dragon Ball, and I'm not going to harp on that too much. But beyond that, just the fucking, story in general, which I believe actually is a horrible attempt at lifting it directly from one of the Dragon Ball animated movies. It does a horrible job of it. And the ending is just so rushed that it makes zero sense. And I mean, I actually was just, I actually was kind of expecting like a fight at fight at the end, which might have had some sort of like a payoff for sitting here for 90 minutes and just suffering. But no. Instead, we have a final fight against, what the hell was his name again? Was it King Horn? Was that? Okay, well, I could have sworn that they said King Horn in the movie, and the back of the DVD says Lord Horn. I don't give a shit. The fight with him, where people are actually squaring off against him, lasts maybe a minute. 60 seconds, that's it. 60 seconds, and then they force the final dragon pearl down his fucking throat, and then he explodes, because the dragon has to come from somewhere, apparently. That was awful. It's like, mind you, again, I'm going to keep harping on the shit that's written here. The back of this thing says that the runtime was 100 minutes. This fucking thing doesn't even run 90. Where the hell is the other 10 minutes? I understand that actually would be another 10 minutes of pain and suffering, but I really hate it when I get lied to about a film's runtime. It just seems to bother me in some small, stupid way. But god damn it, just the fucking writing is horrible, and the dialogue is worse. I mean, yes, Dragon Ball was never known for its writing, but at least there it's somewhat competent. Here there is nothing. The fucking dialogue in many cases makes zero sense. I mean that quite literally. I was sitting there, I was watching these scenes, mind you, dubbed in English, and they don't make a lick of fucking sense. And to make it worse, the actors apparently were just given the fucking script about 30 fucking seconds prior to actually recording their lines. So every single bit of dialogue is wooden and phoned in, and it really makes this a far worse film. I would probably have suffered less if I would have just watched it in its fucking original Chinese and turned on the English subs, but I didn't want to do that. Why? Because I thought, what the hell? I have the option to watch it in, English. How bad could it possibly be? This was by far one of the worst dubs I've ever heard for any foreign piece of media. There is no fucking excuse for how bad it was. Let me touch on the music for a moment before I totally forget about the music. The music was like the one shining beacon in this film, because the music was that kind of cheesy, hammy 80s pop sounding stuff that I have a huge love for. And then that beacon is snuffed out by a huge mound of shit, because the music sounds ridiculously tinny. I would basically compare it to somebody who was playing a tape of the music and was just holding the speaker up to a microphone. That was how bad the music was coming off. And sound effects, don't even get me started on fucking sound effects. Sound effects are almost non-existent in a lot of these scenes, which again kind of pulls you out. I would happily say that this thing is by far one of the worst movies I have ever watched. But it sure as shit is not the worst. I mean, I've seen far worse. I sat through Birdemic, for fuck's sake, and this thing is starting to make that just look a little bit good, and then I think about a lot of the faults there, and then this one's sort of edging it out in quality. Frankly, there's no way in hell I could ever recommend this. I could not recommend this to fans of Dragon Ball. I could not even recommend this to people who've never even heard of fucking Dragon Ball. If you have any sense at all, you will never watch this. You will never buy it. You will never download it. If you see it on Netflix, you are going to write to Netflix and complain. That is how bad this fucking thing is. But hey, that is just me. Mind you guys, I found good shit in Catwoman and Steel, but I can't find any in this. That should tell you how bad this is. Now, Dragon Ball The Magic Begins came off the Amazon wish list. Since this is part of Fan Appreciation Month, everything comes off the wish list. The person who sent in this horrible turd was a user by the name of Medio Surreal. You can find his YouTube channel at, youtube.com/user/Medio Surreal. Swing over there and check out everything that he has, if he has something. I really haven't looked over at his channel. I really wish I could tell you. But otherwise, I'll just go over there and thank him, because he has sent quite possibly he has sent one of the worst things I've ever seen. My God, I hurt. This is one of those films that is just physically painful to fucking watch, guys. But anyway, I'm just gonna need to go step away for a moment and just cry. That's, goddamn it, I just need to vent somewhat. So guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.